Welcome everybody to this video. Today we're gonna be going to do this very quickly. Some manhwa that you might have never heard of. Some slept-on manhwa that are not as popular as like Soul Leveling, The Beginning After the End, Doombreaker, Muram Login, shit like that. Shit that you see on the front page. This is like these are the manhwa you read that are like kind of different to the other ones, but they have like all manhwa are have like I don't want to get into manhwa philosophy, but I will. I will get into it. All manhwa have certain specific like guideline, and then they go away from those guidelines. Some of them. So like there's like the tropes. I mean not guideline. I mean trope. There's so many like Korean manhwa tropes. There's the you live in a regular city, then dungeons somehow comes, and then you have to tackle dungeons, and then there's guilds, and then there's an evil guild, and then a guy is either an aggressor, a reincarnator, or something, but he he monopolizes the dungeon and becomes super strong by himself. That's one way. Then there's the tower way, where then everybody gets forced into a tower and they have to climb up a tower or some shit. And then there's the fucking they get reincarnated as a side character in a random fucking mythological world, or they go to a Morum world and they get reincarnated there, or a mix of them both, or they get sent like uh uh yeah, I don't know. There's so many tropes, but each manhwa that you read, it takes a trope of a manhwa, like this one, Heavenly Demon Reborn. It's basically about a guy who was super strong, died, reborn into somebody else, and then lives his life even stronger than he was the first time. But it takes that trope of that you see in 50 gajillion Korean stories, and it beautifies it by progressing the character, by developing the world, by developing the side characters. And that's what this shit is. It's called Heavenly Demon Reborn. It's basically about a guy who had a master who was like a spear master. And then his master died and he died and he got killed in some conspiracy. But then he's reborn in a cave where they're training heavenly like the heavenly demon clans like new recruits, and then it's like torture training. So then they go in there and they try to learn and shit, and this guy obviously becomes the Heavenly Demon Reborn. Basically, that's basically what this is, and it really deeps into the world and all the different like sects and cults are part of it. How the good guys are really the bad guys, and the bad guys are not really as bad as people say they are, and how people who are good and bad, they're not just straight up good and bad. They have reasons. There are people in power. Who are these people in power? There's different characters, different side characters. This shit went on hiatus, and then it finally came back, which I was waiting for, but I didn't read it yet. And then I waited for it to stack up a couple chapters, and oh boy, I'm so excited. The way the character progresses is not really like super amazing, but he does progress. He does progress, which is something, because some manga, especially Koreans, they don't progress the main character. The main character is like somebody, and the only thing that happens to them is either they get a little bit smarter, or they get a little bit wiser, or they get a lot stronger. That's it. Like their character, their like the things that they do, it doesn't really change as much, if you get what I mean. But this is one of them, Heavenly Demon Reborn. Go check it out. It's really cool. Next, the Arc Mage Returns after 4,000 years. Holy fuck, is this a really good series. I'm not going to tell you a single thing about this series. Go and read it. I'm not even going to show you the synopsis. This shit is one of those gems that are like the beginning after the end level. Because when I first read the beginning after the end, it was only 25 chapters out. I'm talking about the manga, the manhwa, the Korean manhwa. There was only 25 chapters out, and I kept rereading those 25 chapters, and everybody was going on about solo leveling. But guess what? I read Solo Leveling, the manga, and then I read up the whole web novel. I read the side chapters. I read everything about it. I was bored of it. I needed something else. I read the beginning after end. I was dying for more chapters. No more chapters ever got released, so I was like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna read the web novel. I started reading the web novel. I got to chapter 250 something. Then I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore, and I dropped it. And then the manhwa started coming out again, and then the manhwa really kicked it up a gear. And then I started reading the manhwa again, and then I dropped the manhwa because I don't want to like I want to let it I want to let the manhwa complete or the web novel complete before I start reading again, because I can't wait anymore. Because I got to such a point where it was literally like every week, like I was just like, what? This shit's taking too long, you know. I had to drop it, let a couple of chapters. Now I'm waiting for it to finish, and then after a while of reading whatever, I came across this shit, and this shit is really cool. The main character, cool. The side characters, cool. The plot, cool. Shit happens, and shit happens. Go read this shit. Next, Reborn as a Scholar. This one's really good. This one is a really good character development show. It's basically about this guy who was a super badass, and then a lot of fucking people like ganged up on him to take care of him, and then he gets reborn into a kid, and then he has loving parents. He has a little sister, and he changes. He realizes, hey, I was blessed for a reason. Like, this happened to me for a reason. I'm gonna use my new profound knowledge and be a better man, become a scholar, become a better brother, become a better son. And he gets new values. He gets new people surrounding him. A lot of cool shit happens. The fighting is cool. The story kind of is a little slow sometimes, so you gotta like really like just read. Like, that's why this one's good for binging, and it's not really good for week to week, because sometimes these chapters be dragging for no reason. But it's a really good story. The premise is good. The background, the world hasn't been developed as much, but there's a really interesting character. The main character's teacher, he's really cool. There's a lot of cool shit happening in this one. It's pretty underrated. I don't think I've heard of it before. And yeah. Next. Now this one is a concept that you don't see ever. It's called Regressor Instructor Manual, or How to Use a Returner. And basically what this shit is you know how in every fucking manhwa they get transported to a dungeon, and then the main character is a guy who regressed, and he's like, holy shit, I'm gonna take care of like all the OP shit or whatnot. You know what I mean? Like the guy who's like, you know what, fuck it, like I'm gonna be the like, I got regressed, so now I'm gonna like what's the word? Like, I'm gonna take advantage of all the OP items. I'm gonna do the OP strats. I'm gonna be the guy doing all that shit. That's what this guy is. Not the guy on the left who's the main character, but the one on the right. The main character is somebody who can see people's statuses and stats and see what they could do. So he wakes up in this dungeon, and he's a very calm, collected, intelligent guy. And the first thing he notices is this guy as a regressor. So then the main character basically uses this guy who's the pseudo main character, because he knows he regressed, because he knows that this guy knows everything. So he basically uses him to just get the best things. And then he can see everybody else's stats. Okay, this person, they have the potential to get this where. This person, they have the potential to get this where. This person has yada yada yada. You know? And that's why it's different, because the main character is not the one who regressed, but the one who uses the regressor. That's why it says called How to Use a Returner. Next, Second Life Ranker. This one, the plot is kind of confusing. The brother of the main... Okay, so like, the main character's brother went somewhere, and then he got killed in a conspiracy. So then he went into that place that his brother died from to get revenge. And basically that's the whole story. And it's basically like him, it's like climbing a tower dungeon. I still don't understand the world background, I'll be honest with you. I still don't understand it, but it's pretty cool. This is just an underrated one. I haven't heard people talking about it. This is not some profound shit, by the way. This one is just pretty cool. It's alright. There's nothing really super amazing about it. It's good though. It's good to binge. It's 160 chapters. You can binge it if you want. If you don't, you don't have to. Next, Second Coming of Gluttony. This one is also pretty good. There is not only 46 chapters. It's like almost 100 or something. I'm not sure. Is there a part 2 to this? Yeah, there's a part 2. 63. Yeah. So yeah, it's like 100 plus chapters. Yeah, go check it out. It's pretty cool. Uh, I don't really have anything to say about this one. It's pretty cool. It's pretty standard. Uh, the setting of where they get sent somewhere and they have to fight it out and try to get strong, and this guy does that. It's pretty cool. There is one manhwa that I haven't read yet, which is superly high rated by everybody, and that's the Northern Blade. Hold on, let me look it up. Legend of the Northern Blade. I heard this shit is like the best manhwa there is. Like, out of everything that's out right now, this is the best one. That's what I heard, but I haven't read it yet. I'll give you a review when I read it. I don't want to read it right now, but when I do read it, I'll give you guys a review. That'll be all for the video. Thank you for watching, everybody. Like the video, subscribe, comment. You know, I appreciate everything. That's where underrated manhwas that people don't really talk about. Peace.